Lil Yachty's new album, Teenage Emotions, was quite a letdown, actually, when I first listened to it. Because after listening to the Little Boat mixtape, and hearing, like, his dual personalities of Lil Yachty and Little Boat, and then when I heard that he was releasing an album called Teenage Emotions, I figured, that he would probably say something interesting, even though I don't really know why I was expecting that, because Lil Yachty doesn't really have great lyricism. Like when you just listen to his lyrics, like I don't know, like he's more of like a sound kind of guy rather than like a meaning and like substance. So it's like you when you listen to Lil Yachty, it's because you just want to have some fun. So I don't know why. I kind of thought that maybe he would say something of interest or something significant on this album, but he didn't really. Um, and it really just seems like this whole album was just to make money, because there's like 20 some tracks on it, and so it was obviously made just for streaming. Like because if you don't know how it works, like if a song is like streamed so many times, it counts as an album being streamed, and then if an album streams so many times, then it gets accolades. So you can get accolades for a whole album just based on one hit song. So the more songs you have, the more likely it is that it's going to be a streaming hit, which means your album's going to do well, which means you'll make more money and be more popular because of it. So it was like, that's pretty much what the whole album seemed to be. And I've watched like some interviews with him talking about it, and he said he wanted it done like back in December, I think he said. And so like I'm guessing that he wanted it probably a little bit more condensed down, but whoever he's working with probably made him make it longer so that it's working with so that it'd be better for streaming. I mean, he also said that he was waiting on some people to get like their features and stuff, and I don't know. It just mostly seems like a money grab, but just because most of the songs weren't very good. Like I didn't really enjoy most of them. Like Lady in Yellow, that was an awful, awful, awful track. I hated that one so much. Made of Glass sounded terrible. Like I think that's funnily enough, I think that's one of his better. Like I like the lyrics on that song. But it just sounded awful and I hated it. So, Priorities. That was a weird song because it was like, I think it was Lil Boat. Yeah, Lil Boat, and he's just talking about how he's like, oh, I've got so many women around me. What can I have to have sex with them. There's so many women around me, and it's like, well, that's not really. I don't know. That's not quite the teenage experience. It's, I I don't know, cause Little Boat is more like, I'm gonna have sex with all these women. I'm a thug. I'm a gangster. Whereas Little Boat's like a romantic. He's singing all the poppy songs and stuff. So it's like there's a really neat duality there between Little Boat and Lil Yachty, and it's in the album he portrays it as two different people, but he could have really shown it as just one person, and like the inner conflict of a teenager finding themselves and figuring the balance between lust and love. But I don't know. I guess if you wanna hear about lust and love in an actual kind of sense, listen to Kendrick Lamar. So I don't know. There's some things I really liked about this album though. Like Peekaboo was a fun track. It gets really old really quickly, and the lyrics are awful. Like he thought a cello was a flute. He thought it was a clarinet. So I mean, yeah, Lil Yachty, he's not the brightest guy, but the sound's there. Even if it does get draining really quickly. That's how I feel about a lot of these songs, is that they're a little bit too long and they don't change up enough. Like if they changed up more, then they would warrant like the length, but they don't change up very much at all, so it's not really it's not really worth listening to it. Bring It Back. That's a great song. I love that one. Just like Peekaboo though, it's a little bit too long, doesn't change up enough, but you know, I really like that one. It's I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm a romantic as well. So like I find myself more attracted to the Yachty songs rather than the boat songs. And that's also partially because, like I said, Yachty's not a great lyricist, so it's like when listening to Lil Yachty, you have to really be thinking about like the sound and what sounds you enjoy more. And since since rapping is mostly lyrics, and he's not doing anything with it interesting with his sounds, it's all the Yachty songs that are more enjoyable to listen to. Well, other than the exception of Peekaboo, like I said, because that one's fun to listen to. Until it gets boring and draining because it is so long and not changing. And then let's see, what's the other one I really liked? Forever Young. Yeah, Forever Young. I mean, it makes sense because Diplo was on that track, so Diplo's pretty good at what he does. He's good at music. It makes sense that he was able to strip back what Lil Yachty was trying to do with the track and you know, make it sound more cohesive, more you know, just better sounding, just because he has experience in that kind of thing. So I actually hope that Yachty and Diplo work together more, because Forever Young is probably the best track on here, and so I hope that hope they work together more to make good tracks like that. Yeah. So anyways, Lil Yachty, Teenage Emotions, not too great. There's a few bangers, like 3 out of 20. I don't know. It's not too great in my opinion, but I believe in Lil Yachty. He can I think he could make a really good album if he just strips some of it back, you know, makes it like a 10-14 tracks, and then makes it actually a cohesive idea with battling, you know. And then if there's some like conflict between Lil Boat and Lil Yachty with how differently they view things, and make it more distinct. Like sometimes Boat and Yachty sound a lot alike because it is both Yachty, so it's like it's hard sometimes to distinguish which one is singing. So if he makes his next album more of a battle of ideas, like he's been trying to do, I think it'll be really successful for him. Just make good fun sounds, you know, whether it's Yachty or Boat. You don't even have to be intelligent about it. If it's just fun to listen to, people will listen to it more. So that's all I have to say.